Let's welcome on board Mr. Ashish Jain, the CFO at KRBL, to talk to us about how's the business doing. Mr. Jain, hi, good to be speaking with you. Just wanted to begin by understanding the export picture with the entire Red Sea issue, which is which is there, plus the fact there have been these export curbs that the government has levied. What's the outlook with respect to exports? When do you see a recovery? Because in Q3 as well, there was a fall of almost 47% in your export revenue.
I will just explain the export situation. So, yes, you are right. There is a cloud of the Red Sea on the overall exports from India. However, that particular factor does not have a major impact on our operations because bulk of our exports is to the Middle East, where those issues have not yet impacted so far. Now, in terms of the outlook on our exports, yes, we did see a year-on-year decline in the third quarter. However, as we mentioned earlier, we are addressing those issues and you should see progress on those issues soon.
Okay, so you're looking at addressing these situations soon, but overall, what's the expectation with respect to the domestic market as well? How's the overall scenario? Because the government is doing a lot with respect to trying to curb inflation. There are these meetings that keep on happening. There is that impending election as well that usually has an impact. What's your own, assumption of how the demand trends and pricing trends are shaping up in the domestic regions?
Sure. So, as you know, we are a key player in the domestic market on the packaged basmati side. Our domestic business has been doing well. So, if you look at, the 9-month period, our domestic revenue has grown very well. Now, a couple of things that we're trying to do there is, first is to grow packaged basmati distribution in India. So if you see packaged basmati as a category itself that is present in around 7 lakh outlets, our presence is at around 55% of that universe. So from our point of view, we see significant growth ahead just in terms of being able to grow the distribution. The second aspect there is also to make it easier for consumers to get access to basmati, not just in terms of distribution, but also in terms of price. So we have we are taking various steps there to which the market is responding well. And the third element of our domestic growth story is really non-basmati. So around a year back, we started focusing on non-basmati. Now I'm happy to share that part of the business is also doing well. This year, we hope to see that revenue account for overall 5% of our domestic revenue. So in my view, I think we have a strong outlet for the domestic business and should see double-digit growth for the next few years. In terms of the price outlook, yes, we've seen government taking various measures for, I would say, roughly last 12 to 18 months. However, most of those measures are directed at the non-basmati space because that's really the predominant rice that is consumed across the country. Basmati is still a small part of our country's overall rice consumption, but no direct impact of those measures on the basmati side.
Right. Ashish, there are two parts out of what you just said. One, you're aiming to increase your distribution in the basmati side, even in domestic. What's the potential? How much do you see it go up by? What's the aim at? And non-basmati, which is overall just 5% right now for you, it appears that you want to go deeper into inroads of your domestic market on both sides as well. So what's the potential delta you see in the next 2 years?
Sure. I'll answer the first question. So, if you see packaged basmati as a category, which means if you take all the brands across packaged basmati, they are broadly available in about 7 lakh outlets across the country. As against that, our reach when last measured in December was at around 385,000 outlets. So, we are the largest player in the packaged basmati space. And, even our distribution touches broadly just 50% of the category. So just in terms of making our brands available across more outlets, is, I think, a huge and probably the largest opportunity that lies ahead of us. So that's just to give you a perspective on, what distribution-led growth can look like. Now, in terms of non-basmati, just to give you the context, India produces about 135 million tons of rice, out of which basmati is only about 8 to 10 million. So the balance 125 million is all non-basmati, in which there is hardly any presence of national brands. While the consumer is really looking at the same benefits that they get from any other packaged product, which is reliability, consistent quality, and as well as wider availability. So we see a huge opportunity there. Like I said, we started focusing on it about a year ago, and the results are good. And we'll certainly sort of progress this further.
Further, but then what does all of this mean for the numbers? I think 9 months you're tracking a revenue profile of 4,000 crore with a profitability of almost 500 crores. What do you think FY25 will look as a whole? At least a 6-7,000 crore number on the top line with better margins and profitability? What's the realistic expectation we should go with?
Yeah, so in terms of our outlook for next year, there are two things that we see from the revenue point of view. One is we expect the domestic growth to continue. Now, this is of course subject to prices, etc., holding up. Second is that we also expect our export business to do better. So like I said, we are addressing those issues, and hopefully those should be all behind us. So with both our engines firing, you should really look at a far better year for KRBL as compared to FY24.
Any indication? Far better means 20%, 25%, more, less?
So we generally don't get into numerical guidance, but you can expect a better year.
Right. Ashish, before I let you go, we were just discussing, Anisha and I, that it appears that because of rising affluence in India, India's market cap and global market cap going up, number of HNI households are going up. Does it mean that Indians are eating better quality rice, eating more rice and more better quality rice, tilting towards basmati?
Yeah, I think definitely. Let me just give you one statistics. Right now, when we look at where our basmati, products are consumed, we find that the share of metros in that has dropped from, by almost 10 to 20 percentage points over the last 5 years. So, which means we clearly see growth in demand from, tier two and also cities which lie just below the metros. Like you said, I think this is also significantly driven by rising affluence. So we do expect the basmati consumption to spread more widely in the country as against what it is now.
On that note, we'll let you go. We definitely are consuming.
I am not much of a rice eater, by the
I
way.
am a rice eater and
Are
I'm
you?
consuming a lot more of the basmati rice.
I'm more a dalia eater. But talking of, thanks very much for your time, Ashish.